Hi, I'm Bill Benton, and I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. That's a line from the old movie Network, but it describes exactly how I feel about Iraq and Vietnam. Iraq and Vietnam are the same thing. Iraq is a replay of Vietnam. They're both wars against people who had done nothing to us. They were both sold to us by presidents who lied. Lyndon Johnson told us that the North Vietnamese had attacked the American Navy in the Gulf of Tonkin. It was not true, and he knew it. George Bush said that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, whatever that means, and he knew that there weren't any. He knew he was lying. Those are only the beginnings of the parallels. Why did the president do this? Well, Lyndon Johnson said he didn't want to be the first president to lose a war. George Bush has been in the oil business since he was in knee pants. His family's been partners with the bin Laden family forever. Even if that Osama bin Laden is the black sheep, the oil increases have resulted from this war, have been very good for the Bush family. If that's why he did it, that's an outrage right there. We don't need something like the story of Wag the Dog, another movie where the president goes to war simply to distract the populace from other things that he's doing. Maybe that's part of the story too. More important, Congress is full of wimps. The Congress, which should be checking and balancing and controlling these crazy things, has not done it for 50 years. They caved into Lyndon Johnson, they caved into George W. Bush. Only half, fewer than half of the Democrats in Congress voted against the Iraq War resolution. That's an outrage right there. Yeah, a few people had lost their elections because they were anti-war, but that's no reason for cowardice on the part of the opposition, the Democrats who should be the opposition. There's an old saying in politics, it is the duty of the opposition to oppose, and they're not doing it. Swift boating was the last example. We can't allow weaklings in Congress to be stampeded by the likes of those liars. The system is broken down. The American system no longer works. The voters spoke last November. They said, get out of get out of Iraq. What's happened since? Nothing. The Democratic-controlled Congress has made a few mild gestures, but they haven't done anything. They know that the only way to get George Bush to stop is to take the money away. They know that they can pass a law cutting funds for Iraq any day they want to. They know that it won't hurt the troops because if there's no money, they'll have to be brought home. They know that they can pass a law demanding the troops come home. They won't do it because they're a bunch of cowards. They're afraid of losing the next election. That's not what we elected them for. We elected them to do the right thing. We did not send them there for a lifetime in Congress, and for them to act as though that is why they are there is an outrage. What should we do? What should we do in Iraq? That is a legitimate question. Well, for one thing, we should get out of there immediately. That war has been going on for 1,000 years. Some people say that if we leave, it'll bring chaos. Well, I've got news for you folks. There's already chaos in Iraq. There has been for many years. We're not making the situation better. We're making it worse. Think about this. 2 million people on each side, Iranian and Iraqi, were killed in the 90s in the war between the Iraqi and Iranian countries. We had nothing to do with that. In fact, we supported Iraq. That's what's going on in the Middle East. We are just a nitpick that is making things worse. We've got to get out of there. Maybe we don't have to retire completely. Maybe we should move some of our American troops to a place like the Kurdish area, build up a free speech, rule of law, democratic government in that area, maybe something like Israel, something that could be a representative of American values in the area. No reason not to do that. The Kurds seem to be good people. They seem to like us. They seem to share our values. That's a possibility. That would also leave American troops in the area in case of real need. But right now, we've got to get out of Baghdad. We've got to get out of Iraq. We're actually fighting against the Sunni or Arab people over there. We're doing the fighting that Iran and Iran's allies, the Shiites, would be doing if we didn't. We're basically fighting the war for one side, and it's the wrong side, and we've got to stop it. More general comments on the U.S. military. The Army is too big and should be reduced. The military budget is out of control. It's doubled in the last few years. That money should be spent on health care for our seniors, health care for our children, education, all those things. Having a huge army is dangerous. It leads to adventures like Iraq, and we have got to get back to what the American founders wanted. They wanted a nation of peace. They wanted a nation of prosperity. They did not want a nation involved in foreign entanglements. George Washington was the first to say it, and General Eisenhower was the last. We've got to go back to the real American values. We've got to bring the real America back. If you agree with me, please contact me. Together we can do it. We need to speak up, speak out, and make sure that the right people get elected. I'm Bill Benton. You can reach me at tra1776@gmail. That's tra1776@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.